Okay.
Well, I am thrilled about this week's guest. Mary McCarthy is the founder and chief empowerment officer of Create Right Now, and that's WRITE. She shows health conscious women how to use the ultimate self empowerment tool, journaling for the health of it, to heal the issue in their tissues and to embody and express their true self. She's the multi-award-winning author of Journaling Power, How to Create the Happy, Healthy Life You Want to Live, and Heal Yourself with Journaling Power, which I just read and it was fabulous. She's also the creator of 20 plus life-changing journaling power ebooks, such as Start Changing Your Life, Take Control of Your Health, and Love Your Body. Mary, it's so great to be with you today.
Oh, so great to be here. Thank you for inviting me, Mal.
I love what you write about because I'm a journaler. I've included this topic in 2 of my books, how women can use the simple practice of journaling for clarity, for healing issues, for finding their inner truth, that voice that's within them. You know, we have so much going on in our heads, and that constant nonstop chatter about, what's going on and what we're doing. And the only way to get to that place of quiet is through sitting down and writing. So tell me, what inspired your work? Because you have a very powerful story on how you came about writing.
Well, yes, thank you. It is basically for me, my story started out that I got to journaling based on a physical therapy need. I had had an MS experience where I lost feeling and function on the right side of my body, and I needed a way to teach myself how to write with my left hand. And at that point, I was a high-powered type A businesswoman that needed a procedure. I wasn't going to willy-nilly go about doing it. So someone introduced me to Julia Cameron's The Morning Pages. And so I got into journaling via the morning pages. And each morning I would sit down and just write 3 pages of whatever, stream of consciousness. And things all of a sudden, very shortly, started coming up. Memories from my childhood, thoughts and feelings that I thought had long forgotten about, all kinds of very interesting things. So I was just like, wow, this is more than physical therapy. And one of the things I realized in doing the morning pages was I always was left-handed, and that the nuns changed me. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is beyond. So like I said, I became left-handed very, very quickly. But just being able to get into the childhood and the memories and things like that. I mean, as you know, we all know we had childhood, but most of that because we're taught to stuff down our emotions and feelings and all that. Move forward with. It was stuck in our subconscious and our issues in our tissues, but we just never dealt with it. But journaling provided a therapeutic way to get into me, my emotions, my thoughts, my feelings, my spirituality, my soul. So, I thought, wow, since I had to sell my business, and I was home, living life I had just purchased my beachfront home, and I thought, oh, this is great. So I'm going to set up an internet business and share my findings with the world. And that's what I've done. And Create Right Now has just been an evolution of something that was, the universe works in mysterious ways. Like needed some physical therapy and got way more than I bargained for.
I love it. You really had a very powerful physical healing from this process as well.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's continuing today. And I'm really now dealing with my cellular level and dealing with, issues, spiritual issues, all the things that make up the cellular issue. Because I'm way past what's ever going on in my being, in my personhood, my body is way past. It's never going to show up on an MRI or an XYZ or whatever. So it's things that I have to do myself. So journaling is helping me way deep down into all my aspects of me, and shows me that we have the power to heal ourselves.
Yes, yes. And that's what I think is so wonderful about your book that I read, that the examples, the people that you included and their stories, amazing, just absolutely amazing. The physical healings, the mental healings. I was deeply touched by the young man that you included, whose mother had committed suicide, and that inspired his path. And now he has created a journal for men, which was just magnificent. So tell me a little bit about how you proceeded from starting this practice for yourself and now finding all these people that are using it, getting all the benefits from it, and writing these books. It's really been it's your purpose, it's your passion.
Indeed. And I attribute it all to my journal, because that my journal has been my guide, my conduit, my message center. This is where I get, as I call, messages from the universe. One day, journaling for the health of it just showed up, because knowing that, and I think it gets back to being very clear. It's like, okay, I want to start a successful internet company from my beachfront home, and I think you have to be very clear on what you want. And it's like Ralph Waldo Emerson says, once you make a decision, then the universe conspires to make it happen. So I think that and having the tool of journaling, it's just like, I just did a lot of morning pages, a lot of journaling, and that's somehow declutters the energy, whatever, and helps get clear. And one day the words "create right now" showed up, and I thought, wow, that's the name of my company. And I just go back to it's my journal is the answer woman. I just going through the phase of whenever I feel like it, just writing, just the whole writing process. Don't have to have an agenda, don't have to have a problem or whatever. Just like, I feel like just writing a page or whatever it takes. And like I said, and I just trust the process. And that's how I came to write the books, my ebook books, and as well as my real books. It's just, I always wanted to do I'm a very practical person. I wanted to have something to share. So I didn't want to get into the whole thing about, I didn't want to create an Angela's Ashes and, the typical memoir. So I came up with the genre of self-help memoirs to include my story. This is in my first book, Journaling Power, my story, as well as, exercises and practical things so that people can, get on board and join the revolution. And then for my second book, I thought, since more people were coming to me, or I was hosting them as guest bloggers, I thought, wow, yeah, it's time to share other people's stories so the rest of the world knows. It's like, it's not just, I think people have the old perception. It's just, oh, how I spent my day or diary or what. It's like, no, this is how people are using this fantastic tool to help them in all aspects of themselves, be it physical, be it emotional, be it mental, be it spiritual, all of the above. So
why do people struggle with it? Because it's a simple process. The benefits of journaling are recognized. You discuss it deeply. I recommend it. I know several other empowerment coaches, transformational coaches that highly recommend it. And yet people, there's so much resistance and struggle. Journaling, well, I don't have the time. That's nonsense. So how do you get people started?
Um, well, first of all, I let people know it's that we're all in the same boat. We came into this world as children with all our talents, creativity, skill. Then we got socialized, parentized, and all that type of thing. And those things that our true self got pushed way, way down. So, and we've been so much trained or taught and reinforced socially to, out there, get this car, go to college, all that type. So journaling is a huge behavior change. It's putting the focus on ourself. And goodness gracious, we were never ever taught to focus on ourselves. It's about take care of your brother and sister, make sure your neighbor's okay, all that type of stuff. Everything is external. But this is brand new behavior change that gets to our core, our spirit, all of us. So that is what it is. And we're so used to living in fear and being controlled by whatsoever, or thinking that our life is like, okay, it's genes and you can't do anything about it. So it's a real whole new thing. Plus the fact we have all, after childhood, we all went into our heads and we've been living in our heads. We've been disconnected from our body now. And
Yeah.
and what journaling does is help us get back into our body.
I love it. I love it. For me, it's getting out of my head and getting back into my heart.
Yes.
Getting into, not in my heart, my soul, where I reconnect with that higher guidance. Now, call it universe, call it God, call it soul, the divine mother, whatever. But there's another level of communication that we all have that's available to all of us if we just get quiet and allow it. And journaling is the most beautiful pathway to that consciousness, to that stream of knowledge that we otherwise don't access. When I look back, Mary, at some of the things that I have written in my journals, I go, where did that come from?
Right.
I don't remember writing that. And both of the books that I've written were like downloads at times. When I went back and read them, it was like, oh my gosh, I don't really remember writing that. So, and I used to write in the morning. That's, would be my creativity time early in the day. And then I'd review sometimes in the afternoon. I'd be like, wow, I don't really remember that. Amazing what just putting, and it, for me, it's pen to paper. Can't be electronic, can't be computer.
Absolutely.
That we've got to be clear about. No electronics involved. The old-fashioned way, pen to paper. What are your thoughts on that? Some people,
Oh, that's right. I don't even talk anything that like there are two important things. There's only one right way to journal, and it's your way, and it needs to be pen to page every day. And that's all I have to say about the guidelines, or what I'm supposed to do about journaling. But that's it. You're absolutely right. I don't even in any way, shape, or form mention that. You're right. The only right way to journal is pen to page every day. You have to have that consistency, that routine, that discipline, because we have to continually be giving to ourselves our self-love. I mean, journaling is self-love. It's giving back to ourselves, because we've had a whole lifetime of self-sabotage and self-criticism. We just have to get into a routine that we're number one 24/7.
I love the way you're saying that this is a practice of self-love for women. Because boy, do we need that.
True.
We put ourselves at the bottom of the list. We do for everybody else, and we do for ourselves last. But when we are depleted, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically, we can't contribute to life. We cannot really love and support those around us because we have nothing to give. We have depleted ourselves. So if we really want to be there for others, we need to be there for ourselves first.
Definitely. My favorite hashtag is me first. You know,
Yes.
and that's the key. It's just, and now having been a journaler for so many years, it now makes sense because you know how we hear things about, oh yes, you have to take care of yourself before you take care, or what's the thing about the airplane? Put your
mask on first.
And we hear all this thing, but it's now I know that's true because we have to take care of ourselves, and we have to always be continually connected and stay connected to our, as you said earlier, to our soul and our core, because that's where it's happening. Because when you do that, boy, you can save the world like that. It's just, yeah, it's so, but it's right. What it is a big behavior change, and it's just like the changing your whole inner thought process, the way you talk to yourself, the way you treat yourself. It's like I heard a quote, something like, if someone treated if someone treated you the way you treat yourself, you would have left them a long time ago.
Yes.
Isn't that the truth? Because we are all masters of self-sabotage.
Yes.
So it's like, that's why, as you said, it must be pen to page, and it must be daily in a routine fashion, just like brushing your teeth, taking a shower, what part of your self-health routine and self-love routine.
Do you have any thoughts on how long it takes to really establish that practice? Now, ideally, you want to do it every day, but we know that discipline, people are going to waffle on that. So if someone puts the effort in daily, how long do you think it takes, Mary, for it to really become habitual, easy to get up and do, that they really get into the momentum? Is there a time frame that you recommend?
It really depends on the person, but I would very much, based on my own experience, venture that if they are, people are open to the new experience, if they are curious, if they have an attitude of let's see what this is about, as opposed to change, even considering new thoughts, or okay, well, let's give this a shot and see where it goes. I think that depends. I would say for some people as quickly as a month, but for other people it will be a struggle based on their past, their childhood, their upbringing, their life experience. So, but it's not inconceivable that if you do it consistently on a daily basis, that you will start seeing some changes, or some aha, or ooh, where did that come from? Within a month, you'll see that. And but also too, I won't underestimate the fact that what's going to be happening when you get into that is the fears, the critics, all the old stuff is going to come up. So, and I think that's why people are like, oh, I don't want to go there. And that's why people use the excuse, oh, I don't have time, I'm this, that. Yes, all that's true. But the big issue is that it's a self thing, and that's something totally different. And people are so afraid, based on the fact we have been living in our head, and we have thoughts about who we think we are, and who we think we are and who we truly are two totally different people.
Oh, absolutely. Do you have a preferred time of day for journaling? I do it in the morning because I know if I don't, it's probably not going to happen later in the day. Sometimes I'll write some things down at night, quick little ideas of gratitude, or things like that that happened during the day. my thoughts on them or something I'm grateful for. But what are your thoughts on that?
It goes back to what I said earlier. There's only one right way to journal, and it's your way. And I think that's part of the process is exploring and accepting. Yeah, I really feel better if I go to a coffee shop and do this, or what works best for me is on the train into work, or as you said with you. Yeah, if I don't do it first thing in the morning, it ain't gonna get done, or whatever. Or some people think, or night people, and it's like, oh, it's much easier for me to do my journaling before I go to bed. Again, it is totally up to whatever, using my favorite 4-letter F word, feel, whatever you feel like. And again, that's something new. Oh, how I feel, what I wanted. Oh, that's so selfish. So we go through all those machinations, but it's like, that's what the bottom line is. Yes, and as I now, and with me, it changes. Now I'm into doing a page in the morning before I do my morning meditation, because like you, if I don't do it, then either the journaling or the meditation will not get done. And then I've just gotten into doing a page of what I call night notes right before I go to bed, just recapping the day of all the lessons, the learnings, the gratitudes, whatever. And I find I'm sleeping routinely through the night, 10 to 6.
Mm-hmm. You're emptying out all that stuff that you've been carrying around all day. So it's very therapeutic.
Yes.
You've had so many guest bloggers tell powerful, powerful stories. Do you have a favorite one?
I have to say yes, and her name is Deb. She's a lady that has been journaling for probably about 10 years now. She's been clean and sober for 10 years, and she owes that to her journal. She said her journal absolutely positively changed her life, and she said, that's her lifeblood, her lifeline. So I said, the fact just shows it can be done. And she's, like I said, clean and sober 10 years, and the fact that she owes it to her journal, and doing it every day just it just helped her understand who she was, and it's just like, damn, I'm good.
I totally understand that because I have 30 years of recovery.
Oh, congratulations.
And I started, but not consistently, way back when, but journaling. And what I uncovered early on in my sobriety was that my own thinking is what caused all my suffering. Mm-hmm. And my suffering, that pain, that's why I used alcohol, to just stop the pain, to stop the craziness, to just feel better about myself. And once I understood that, it was like the wound, I didn't need the Band-Aid anymore. Mm-hmm. It was easier to write about what I was thinking about and understanding it than drowning myself in vodka trying to kill it. It was huge. So mm-hmm. I totally get that. Anybody in recovery, journaling is a powerful, powerful, powerful healing tool that works. You have a wonderful free offer on your website for the listeners of the show. Would you be so kind as to tell them where to go and what it is?
Certainly. Go to Create Right Now, as Mal said. It's WRITE now.com. And on my homepage, there'll be a drop down for a free book entitled Overcoming Life's Stresses and Strains with Journaling Power. And you can sign up and get that, and they'll introduce you to this wonderful, fantastic world of journaling for the health of it.
Oh, I love it. Mary, this is great. I'm so thrilled that we connected. I loved your book. I can't recommend it enough. It should be required reading for the recovery community. Maybe you should write a book about journaling to support recovery, or journaling the path to recovery, something like that, because it is so needed.
Mm-hmm. Giving me some ideas. Thank
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yes, it's because it works. You know, you have that blogger, and now you've got Mal 30 years, and I know that it's been one of my best tools. And when I teach in recovery facilities, two things I tell the women that have absolutely supported me on this path: meditation and journaling.
Hmm.
Meditation, getting that mind quiet, getting back into myself, really, back into my heart, and then writing about it.
Oh, definitely. And I've been a consistent meditator now for almost a year, and I'm with you. It's the 1-2 punch, journaling and meditation. Nothing like it in the world, and it's free.
Yes, that's the best part. It's
And it's
free. It doesn't
inside us.
cost anything. No, I
And
know. People go out and they spend all this money on medications and, oh, well, if I get the right dress, I'm going to feel better, or the right shoes, or the right handbag. I see women spend more time picking out a pair of shoes than nurturing themselves.
true.
This is about self-nurture, self-care.
Hmm.
And I love the way you say that it's a practice of self-love. That is beautiful. I'm going to tweet that after this. I'm going to go and make a Facebook
Oh,
post too.
thank you. That's,
That
that's great.
journaling is a self-love practice with your name.
Oh, thank you. That's great because that it truly is. It's like, oh yes, it's like constant, continual, ongoing nirvana.
Yes. Well, thank you again so much for coming on today. And I hope that we do this again. And I love your books. Again, Journaling Power: How to Create the Happy, Healthy Life You Want to Live and Heal Yourself with Journaling Power. Thank you, Mary McCarthy.
Oh, and thank you, Mel. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.